Peace. Dear generalists, in 1961, there was a comic book called Flash of Two Words. This is the one that has popularized the idea of another dimension. And if you look at the way RCB has played for all these years, I am shocked. How are we won 5 out of 7 games? I'm sure even the audience watching is shocked right now, but the fact is we are living in a alternate reality. And that is defined as a hypothetical self-contained plane of existence. Generalist Albert, please ask me your question.
Mr. Nags, how do you explain Dinesh Karthik's current form?
In science, there is a concept called the convergent evolution due to contamination, which means to say there are some planets that are not like Earth, but due to the influence of Earth being so strong, they start to behave like the Earth, which is what is happening with a DK. He was first a DK, but because of the influence of a AB, he's now become like a AB. I hope I answered your question.
Need money for celebrations or for emergencies? Presenting Credit B. Loans anytime, anywhere.
Generalist Elon, what is your question?
Mr. Nags, I understand alternate reality better than most people here. How do you explain Virat's current form?
See, Generalist Elon, he's scoring runs, but you are not seeing it. Why? Because in science there is a concept of a counter Earth, which means to say there is another planet which is sharing the same orbit as the Earth, but it is in opposition and we cannot see it. So that is why I'm saying on the current Earth he is scoring runs. On the counter Earth, you are seeing wrong. So we are living in a altered reality. I hope I answered your question and shut your mouth. Generalist Acharya, who's here from the past and the present, please ask me your question.
मिस्टर नैग्स, क्या आपको लगता है आरसीबी ये साल ट्रॉफी जीत पाएगी?
See, you need to understand there's a concept of a stranger in a strange land, which means to say, in the world of a fantasy, which we are currently living in, we take one of our own and keep him so close to a fantasy idea. That is what is happening. So, in this fantasy world, we are near the trophy. We might win it, but we don't know. What if we snap and suddenly come back to reality? That is the fear which I want all of you to have. Generalist Isaac Asimov, what is your question?
Mr. Nags, I authored a book many years ago called Foundation, and do you think Shahbaz is constructing something special here?
Shahbaz is in a simulated reality, which means to say it has its own digital construct, and he's a civil engineer, so he has constructed this for himself, and we are all just following him because in his world he is the king and we are all bowing to him. I hope I answered your question about why he's playing so well. Generalist Nicola, please ask me your question.
Josh Hazelwood has been electric this season. How do you explain his exploits?
Josh Hazelwood is currently bowling in a hyperspace, which means to say he's got the velocity faster than the speed of light, and that helps for a interstellar travel. And if you see, in the last 2 games he has been giving stellar performances. So I hope I answered your question. Selva Lakshmi, the only non-scientist over here, please ask me your question.
Nagu, is this press conference even real?
Selva Lakshmi, this press conference is also not real. I am also not real. You are also not real. What you need to understand is we are all just derivatives from the real world living in a alternate reality. Ajji comes from a Bajji, which is in the real world, A.R. Bachchan Singh. Ye Kumara comes from a Kumara Sangakara, who's in the real world. Rangaraj, Ranga, comes from a Hasaranga in the real world. Deep Das comes from a Deep Das Gupta, who's actually a cricketer turned commentator in the real world. Selva Lakshmi, Lakshmi Pati Balaji in the real world, we are an alternate reality, and that is what RCB is living right now. So kindly RCB fans, continue to stick in the alternate reality, because here we have a chance of winning the trophy. But if we go to the real world,
everybody put your hands in the air.
Wake